George Clooney and Brad Pitt's new movie, Wolves, is on Apple TV Plus September 27th.
That's where I want you to be now.
So if you want to see George Clooney and Brad Pitt, go to Apple TV Plus.
You got to start the story there.
Or if you want to see Brad Pitt and George Clooney, go to Apple TV Plus.
I am enjoying the show.
And if you want to see their new movie, Wolves,
You can't do it, I'm going to help you out. I can do it. So do it.
definitely go to Apple TV Plus.
Admit it, it's cool. Okay, fine, it was very cool.
Wolves, streaming September 27th on Apple TV Plus. Rated R.
ABC Wednesday.
I'm Joan, and I'm your first Golden Bachelorette.
Joan's getting a second chance.
This is about everybody like me, navigating, trying to find love at this age.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't have hope.
Because love never ages.
Golden age doesn't mean you're old. Old is a state of mind. Like, a lot of living to do.
The Golden Bachelorette. Series premiere Wednesday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Entertaining and informative.
Oh, you're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Attorney Caban is probably one of the most honorable human beings I've ever met. He's a career civil servant, dedicated his life to law enforcement. There's no way that guy did anything wrong. That's for sure. So
you're talking about Eddie, because there are three Cabans. Don't forget. There's
Eddie,
three of them.
Eddie, yeah, but I'm talking about Eddie. But yeah, the police commissioner.
I like Eddie too. I like him too.
Greatest honorable people.
He's a nice guy.
We're really lucky to have him as our police commissioner. Really are.
Well, he's going to be done in about 2 days. So I like Eddie, but that's listen to me carefully. And I like Eddie too, just like you do. He's done. And he's done in a couple of days.
What?
He's either going to have to resign or he's going to get fired. It's guaranteed. It's not even.
For what? For what?
Listen to me carefully, Joe. When you're on this show next week at this time, listen to me carefully. And I like Eddie.
Okay.
When you're on the show next week at this time, taking all the money you've made in your life, the millions of dollars you're on Vandersloot, John Gotti, Leonardo DiCaprio, all of it, he will not be the police commissioner next week at this time.
Erroneous on both counts.
Well, that's okay. You can overturn it, but I'm going to say it again. You want to hold me in contempt?
We'll see you next Friday after the Canes' big win on Saturday.
I loved it.
When Commissioner Caban is there, we'll see.
I hope so. I like Eddie. You know I like Eddie.
He's the best.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. The good news for Tacopina is Miami did win again. They beat a terrible Ball State team 62-0 after a 2-hour lightning delay, and my alma mater, the Hurricanes, are now 3-0. They got a road test at the 2-1 University of South Florida coming up next week, but they look like the real deal, which is the good news. And Tacopina just sent me a picture in his Miami gear. That's all great, but you may want to take that last conversation back, Tac. What do you think?
I was right, as I said. What are you talking about?
Eddie Caban, gone.
You said he'd be gone in a couple of days. It was a week.
No. It was literally a couple of days.
No. You said last Friday. You said he'd be gone in a couple of days.
He was gone by last Friday. He was gone.
No, he was gone by Wednesday. It was.
He resigned on Thursday. He didn't resign Wednesday because that was 9/11. Point is, I told you were so cocksure he wasn't leaving, and it was clear that I was right.
You know why I was cocksure? My conversations with Eddie. My conversation with Eddie made me cocksure. Eddie swore he did nothing wrong. I still believe him, by the way. One has nothing to do with the other. He also swore he was not resigning because he did nothing wrong. Now, so and I listened to this, Sid, the night before he resigned. And I know what your sources were telling you, and clearly you were right. And you had some good sources. But people were there was a hit, obviously, on him. And what he was telling me the night before was that I know if I resign, I'm soiled for life. I'm stained. Because if he didn't do anything wrong, and he's not going to get charged, and I don't think he's going to be charged with anything criminally, resigning is almost an admission. You and I discussed it. It's an admission of guilt. And I understand politics come into play here, but boy, oh boy, talk about destroying someone's career. He said he was not going to resign, and I tell you what, I was guiding him through this. I was helping him through this. And so he had no reason to lie to me. And I really believe the next morning he was told, you are resigning or you're being fired.
Well, listen, I think you're right, too. And I know they did not want to resign because you've nailed it. That's an admission of guilt. So when you say the next morning he was told, now, I don't know if you're officially representing him or not. That's not my business, or the honest, unless you want to tell us. But who do you think told him the next morning you need to go home? And if they told him that, why would he listen if there's nothing out there that can hurt him?
Because the mayor was going to fire him if he didn't resign, and that would probably be worse. I think it's as simple as that. I think the way he did it was to say, listen, I don't want to distract the PD. I don't want to distract the great women and men of the NYPD from doing their jobs and affect the city. He put out that nice feel-good statement that he's doing it to sort of sacrifice for the better good. If he were fired, the statement would be on behalf of Mayor Adams saying we have to fire him because of the FBI search warrant, which I find incredibly hypocritical because I think the mayor was the one who the FBI rolled upon on the street, told his security detail to get away and stand down as they ripped his phones out of his hands. But I guess what's good for the goose is not good for the gander.
Right. So you're maintaining now, and so was Eddie, that he is innocent and basically he was blackmailed. I'm not blackmailed, but he was forced to resign. Scapegoat. But let me get to the mayor, because not that long ago, maybe a year ago, you, me, Bo Dietl, a bunch of us were going out with the mayor, eating with the mayor, conversing with the mayor. We actually thought at one point that he had a shot. I mean, part of that was that Bill de Blasio was so bad that he couldn't be worse. But we were all willing to give him a shot. Now, I've been long gone. I don't know about Bo, but I think you've been long gone too. So are you angry with the mayor about what happened here to Eddie? Do you think that the truth is the mayor should be the one taking in all these bows and arrows while everybody around him seems to be getting into trouble?
It's listen, you liken it to sort of some mafia family, right? I mean, where the boss is sort of insulated and all the soldiers and the capos all seem to go down.
Yeah.
That's how it looks. I mean, everyone around him is getting pummeled. Even his chief counsel, former United States attorney, who was representing him and the city, resigned on Friday. And it's
Zornberg, yeah.
Yeah. It's becoming, look, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's a duck. And I think we're at a position now where, you have to say something is going on here. And look, I don't know if it's that the turkey thing didn't pan out and now they're looking for something else, the feds. But the feds they are not playing with kid gloves here. The gloves are off, and they're not, being secretive about this. I mean, all things are pointing up, and I think there's going to be some more things that are going to happen before this is over. I don't think this just goes away quietly. Where everyone close to Mayor Adams is being subject to FBI's raids. I mean, that's reserved for serious criminals.
Yeah.
And it's happening here. It's sad. I think with Eddie, it has to do more with his brother, quite frankly. And I think, Eddie thinks that as well. But, unfortunately, when you have a brother who has been in trouble in the past and, has maybe some sort of shady issues and some questionable judgment calls is invoking the police commissioner's name, in doing some deals and whatnot, it becomes something where the feds do have a right to take a look.
No question. So Joseph, the great defense attorney, the best in the world, my dear friend of 48 years, Joseph Tacopina, you are not that far removed from representing President Trump on a couple of cases. And mind you, doing a very good job. E. Jean Carroll, great job, Bragg, too. And it looks like for the second time in 2 months, somebody tried to kill him yesterday. And you watch these stories and you sat with him, you dined with him, you had good times, you had some differences too, that's fine. But when you see what's going on, are you appalled, shocked?
Yeah, well, appalled for sure, sad for sure. I don't think anything shocks me anymore, Sid. I really don't. I mean, it's just unbelievable where we are today as a society and where we live. It's insane. It really is insane. And look, thank God nothing happened, and thank God but there's so many ill people out there. There were just so many ill people, and it's unfortunately, it seems like this is going to be, a frequent occurrence. There's always going to be one crackpot, and it's like that Columbine effect we talked about last week on the show, which is that copycat effect. You know, there's access to weapons in this country like nowhere else in the world. Nowhere else in the world. And not weapons, not like a little pea shooter, you know, but we're talking about AK-47s. No one should have an AK-47, okay? I don't care what kind of gun advocate you are. You could be a gun advocate and you could, you know, embrace the right to have arms, but that does not include assault weapons. No one is allowed to have assault weapons, but yet they're so readily available. And you know, it just takes one lunatic like this. How he got that close is shocking. It's beyond me because I've been there. It's not.
Yeah, me too. No, the course. Sure.
You know, we've been there, right?
Yeah.
I was there as his lawyer. They knew me. I still, you know, had to go through a pretty intense, you know, review as I walked in there, right? So it's shocking that someone could even get that close. Secret Service did a great job, obviously, and they're you know, on top of things. I know his crew, and they're very good, very, very good. But look, shocked, not so much. I wasn't shocked. I was happy and relieved to hear nothing happened, because this is just, you know, this is not how this country should be operating.
No. So in the final 60 seconds, it seems less important today because they tried to kill him again. But we found out a couple of days ago that they dropped 2 more charges in Georgia. I believe that's 5 now. Somehow Fannie Willis is still on that case. I have no idea, Joe, but she's still there.
No,
I know. Thank God. You're right.
Thank God. Thank God. Stop trying to get her off the case.
Yeah.
She's the best thing about that case. I mean, has zero respect from judges, from the defense bar, from her colleagues. She's a clown. I mean, what she did there was literally destroy the credibility of that allegation. And the longer she stays there, the better it is. I mean, the charges that she brought, some of them were so ridiculous. And look, this judge who's a really terrific judge, boy. I mean, this guy he's you know, Ivy League educated. He's right down Broadway. He's a young guy, and he doesn't seem to carry favor for either side. That's what you want in a judge. And this guy's calling it like it is. He's not always ruled in favor of President Trump, but on the other hand, when he sees something that he doesn't like, or he thinks is unfair, he calls it there too. And it takes a lot of courage for a judge. And so 2 more counts there are gone. Look, that case is DOA. That's the least, honestly, the least of all the problems.
All right. So give me your thoughts on the way out here about the Rangers this week. I don't know if you know this, but I think Mark Messier is going to join me on Thursday, celebrating the 30-year anniversary, 30 years since the last time we won the Stanley Cup.
I don't want to talk about it. It was supposed to be a 6-month anniversary. So I don't want to talk about it. I'm still having therapy sessions from what happened in the spring. You know, from us bouncing out of that. We were supposed to win the Stanley Cup this year. I mean, we won the President's Trophy. We did it all. And you know, we bounced out. Look, the only solace is that Vinny's team, the Panthers, won. You know, I'm a season ticket holder for the Florida Panthers too. I mean, because of Vinny. Chris gets a ring. Chris, you know, got to sit. My son Chris obviously got a Stanley Cup ring and is part of that organization, so that was good. But I was still miserable. I mean, I didn't talk to Chris for almost a week after that. You know, so but if you take a look at what I sent you just now, it's a beautiful, beautiful picture of Chris, but it still makes me nauseous.
It is a great picture. He's right there with the Stanley Cup. Him and you've got a picture, I'm sure, of Vinny Viola holding that cup too, but not us, Joseph. Not yet. Well, great job. We'll do this again on Friday. That's a great job this morning. And you look great, by the way. Your arms never look bigger. You look like, I mean, God, where was that picture taken, that Miami picture?
In Hard Rock. The law firm has a box there in the Hard Rock Stadium. The living room suite, it's called, and we have a box there. So it's
nice.
It's amazing. You got to, if you're ever down there, you got to know it's a different level.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really fun.
Absolutely. Canes are 3-0, baby, and again, they've got South Florida on the road coming up on Saturday. Joe Tacopina, as always, amazing job. I love you. Do it again on Friday. Thank you so much.
Love you too, brother.
You're the man, Joseph Tacopina, right there. That wraps up 2 hours of great radio on a Monday morning here on Sittin' Friends in the Morning.
Janine Pirro here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. Physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Pirro for your free Janine Pirro Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit, or call 800-965 800-965-8004. 800-965-8004 now to receive a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.